nonstop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Football.
Not just Purple Daily, but Judd and Declan with you for Purple Daily comments from YouTube. That is exactly right. It's Monday. We do this twice a week, at the start of the week and at the end of the week. At the end of the week, we do it with Phil Mackey. At the beginning of the week, it's just solo Judd and Declan. And so, Dex, let's get right to it. Comments from YouTube regarding the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes. A lot of comments, a lot of feedback. On 4-Question Friday, Mackey, Judd, and myself, we all kind of talked about the bar of success for the Vikings in 2022. I asked the same question to some Vikings fans on Ventline on Sunday, and a lot of commenters kind of chiming in with their 2 cents and take on the barometer and where they kind of see the Vikings falling this season in the NFC. Let's start with this one from Jacob. Jacob says, I want to see at least one playoff win, but if they make the playoffs and lose the first game, I guess I'd be okay with that. But I would like to think that they can at least win one playoff game, then make the game close. Judd, just point blank, do you think the Minnesota Vikings can win a playoff game in 2022?
Without seeing the on-the-field product yet and how it's going to look with the new schemes and systems, I don't know. I will say this. I feel that there's internal feeling from all the people that they brought back on this team that they can. As we've been saying for weeks now, I think there is a feeling among those who run this organization from the highest levels that this team has the ability to win. They feel that certainly the GM probably didn't do his job, and they definitely feel the coach didn't do his. So would I eliminate them and say absolutely not? No. The Philadelphia Eagles, who I don't think were that good in 2021, made the playoffs. Can this team make the playoffs and keep a game close? I would hope that with the confidence that's being shown in this club, the answer is yes. I guess, to be fair, I'm dubious until I actually see this team play.
Sure. I think they can win a playoff game, but let me just point out, too, how difficult it is to win a playoff game. I mean, look at the Cowboys last year. The Dallas Cowboys, I believe they won 12 games, right? They won the NFC East, and I know they had the botched play at the end of the game, but they didn't win a playoff game last year. And they were in the driver's seat all season long, pretty much, in the NFC East, and looked like they were going to have a lengthy playoff run. Dak Prescott missed time, and they still were able to overcome it, and they didn't win a playoff game last year. Do I think they can be better than the 2022 Eagles? Sure. Or be they at least the same team and get in as a wild card as the last one? Certainly I can. Winning a playoff game will be the interesting part of that. Yeah. Jada says, talent-wise, we stack up against the best, and I think we'll be in the NFC Championship game minimum. Actually, her first part of that, talent-wise, I don't think is that far off. I think talent-wise, the Vikings have a pretty damn good roster. Potentially, talent-wise, I think they have the best roster in the NFC North. The issue is their coaching going to be able to step in right away and be just as good as the Packers? Can Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter stay healthy? Can they avoid injury bugs? I think talent-wise, when you really look up and down, offense and defense, Judd, that they do stack up with almost every team in the NFC. At least I think so.
Oh, boy. I think this all ties back into the first question, though, or the first comment, and that is this. Was the coaching so bad that it suppressed all of the talent? And I don't know if the answer is yes or not. This is definitely a team with some name players, but you've got guys who have been hurt, and I guess the question there is, can they stay healthy? You've got guys like Patrick Peterson who are aging. So there is talent on this team I really like, but when we're talking about potentially conference championship game, that seems to me to be a reach.
That's a reach.
The playoffs don't seem to be a reach. I think the playoffs are a realistic hope. And then once you're there, I'm curious what would transpire. But like with where the talent is aging-wise and health-wise, I think that becomes an interesting question.
MN Lifer says, hot take. Thielen will have his best ever career year this year, and we will have the top passing offense in all of football. So MN Lifer with a hot take. Thielen with a career season in his 30s, and the Vikings having the top passing offense in the NFL.
Do you see that?
Pretty spicy.
I don't know if you have top passing. I mean, I like where he's going.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, the offensive line is better, but it's certainly not perfect. I don't know. Like, I expect him to be good. Yeah, she's not happy at all.
She's not.
I didn't
she doesn't
close
buy
the
that
door
one?
in fairness to her. I left my door open, which was probably a mistake on my part. I think this should be a very good passing team. Top passing offense, I think, might be a little bit of a reach.
Let's go with this next one from Michael. He says the shakeup throughout the Vikings franchise this past year, brought by the Wilfs, is a huge step forward for this franchise. The hiring of Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah as general manager is a stroke of genius. The hiring of young, brilliant, dynamic, offensive-minded head coach Kevin O'Connell is another stroke of genius. The vibe has completely changed from a culture of fear to a culture of fun and confidence. And the 2022 draft was a killer. They brought in top-tier young talent. This team will win double digits in 2022. Write it down, 13-4.
Okay,
Michael sipping some purple Kool-Aid.
So, Michael, I definitely agree. It feels like, and I don't know if this is going to translate in more wins, but it certainly could. It feels like a much better, lighter, constructive atmosphere. I have one question. How do we know a thing about the 2022 draft class? I can't go with that. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. I have no clue. Do they have a good draft overall? I don't know. Maybe. But we've certainly seen drafts that we thought were good be terrible and drafts that we thought were average be very good. So I can go down the path of I do think that the change in atmosphere around TCO Performance Center is going to improve things. I can't bite off the draft class is going to come in and contribute. I just don't know. Hope Lewis does.
Yeah, and I don't know if Michael works for the Vikings or if he's a puppet in the Wilf or Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah or KLC game, but he's sipping some purple positivity.
Well, I mean, nothing wrong with being positive when, you know what, training camp more than a month away, the off-season program is done. If you want to be positive right now is the perfect time.
Interesting comment here from Sam, who commented on our episode that we posted on Monday afternoon about Mackey's top 20 Vikings players, 16 through 20, with KJ Osborn topping the first chunk of this list right at 16. Sam says, KJ feels a lot like a Nate Burleson comp, with Jet being Moss, Thielen being Carter, and KJ rounding things out with nasty Nate Burleson. What do you think about that little comp? KJ Osborn having a career like Nate Burleson? I feel like that's like his peak, right? Like that'd be, probably. If KJ Osborn had a Nate Burleson career, he would take that and run to the bank.
Absolutely. Yeah. And look, as we talked about on Purple Daily today, as Phil unveiled his ranking of the top 20 Vikings, 20 through 16, and in ranking Osborn, I believe 17th or 16th, he was right, and we discussed this. Osborn was drafted to return kicks, failed there, and then actually became, I think, a far superior receiving threat in 2021 to what the Vikings expected. So, yeah, I think if KJ Osborn at the end of the day can have a career like Nate did, the Vikings and KJ Osborn will be ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, Nate really stepped up, after Moss got hurt and had a big year for them. And Nate was drafted by the Vikings, correct? Yeah. So,
he was drafted by Vikings.
So yeah, and he turned out a nice little career, cashed in with Seattle, nice contract. He's now doing a great little media career with the NFL Network and whatnot. And
he's good. Like he's good.
Really good.
He didn't have a really long career, I don't think, but he was productive. Was he a true number one consistently? Probably not. But you know what? That's fine. You don't have to be. You can be a 2. You can be a 3.
You kind of wonder too, like guys like Nate Burleson, what would they be like if they were plugged into today's NFL? Because I feel like Nate would have had better potential to be a number one with how just pass heavy and how many teams run out multiple wide receiver sets. You kind of like to think Nate Burleson could, even if you popped him in healthy in a time machine in 2022, I think he actually would have a pretty damn good career. Mr. Huskies, again, I have no affiliation to Mr. Huskies. This is not my spam account, but he says, I was wondering what you guys thought about Garrett Bradbury putting on 10 pounds in the offseason and wants to be at 310 by week 1. He played at 295 last year. He said he's working with nutritionists and personal trainers putting on good weight. I think he knows he has to get better this year or he's very possibly gone from the NFL. What do you think about Garrett Bradbury putting on a little extra muscle there, Judd? I mean, he was pushed around like crazy, and if this is the other missing ingredient to help him not get pushed around like a rag doll, I mean, I'm all for it, but
it can't be a bad thing, right? I have no idea if this is going to make him a very good or a good, forget very good, I shouldn't have said that, pass protector. But I think that the mentality of trying to beef up is smart. My biggest question about Bradbury, I think, is this, because I don't question his intelligence, and I think he can definitely make the line calls, and I think he's a smart guy. My biggest question is, it goes back to what we've been talking about for a couple weeks now when it comes to that position. And in general, to play the offensive line, you either need to be extremely talented or a nasty SOB, especially center. And I don't know that Garrett Bradbury is a nasty SOB. Jeff Christie was undersized as well and turned out to be, I think, a Pro Bowl center. Why? Because he was nasty, man. He would fight you to the death. Does Bradbury have that? And Bradbury definitely succeeded in college, but you don't need to be as good there, right? And now you're going up against nose tackles and 3 techs that are now outstanding athletes, and they're nasty. So I guess what I can't gauge on Garrett Bradbury is, does he have the entire portfolio to become a really successful guy in pass protection especially, and does adding the weight just solve that, or is it more layered than that possibly? And I think of all the things the Vikings are taking a chance on, and there's not a ton of things, but of all the things that the new coaching staff is, this to me is one of the biggest second guesses with a first guess.
It seems like he has, the most to prove. He's up there for the 2022 Vikings, just because he's obviously they declined the 5th-year option, so he won't be back next season. And if they really believe that he just needed to have a different scheme fit and a different change in how he's playing, because they're rolling the dice. They didn't bring any other center. They didn't draft another center. They're saying Garrett Bradbury is basically their center for 2022, which is
not unless Chris Reed might play there, but then guard is what, Jesse Davis. It's one area where I thought they would address it more proactively, and they definitely did not.
Dean says Patrick Peterson would be awesome to have as a cornerbacks coach after this season if he decides to hang it up. I feel like Pat P, we were just talking about Nasty Nate having a nice little media career. I could see Pat P also stepping in. He has the All Things Covered podcast with Brian McFadden, does a good job there. If it wasn't media, he's a smart dude, and you were talking to him last week at minicamp. Like, the dude knows X's and O's football. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he could be a defensive backs coach or a DC one day.
Absolutely not. The question becomes this: do you want to put in the time? That's the thing. I don't think people get those coaching jobs, for the most part, suck. You don't make a ton. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you don't make good money, but you don't make a killing financially, and you are there all the time. Coaching you got to love it. You got to love it. It's one thing to do TV and to look at film and talk to coaches and sort of break things down. It's another to actually be in a facility with wins and losses hanging on each day, basically during the season, and you are involved in everything. That's a lot. If Patrick Peterson were to say, you know what, I love football, I'm going to do some analysis, but I don't want to be that involved, and I've made, quite a bit of money through the years, nobody could blame him for saying that.
No, not at all. Hey, 4th of July is coming up here, Judd Zolgad, and I want to know what you're going to be sipping on here in just a second. But I know during when it is 4th of July and I get out on the pontoon or I get out on a speedboat, I'm going to be noticing some aquaside lakes, especially up at Shell Lake or wherever you might end up. Maybe it's the Brainerd Lakes area. Maybe you're just staying put and getting Judd on Minnetonka. What would it take to get a Vikings fan to get Judd on Lake Minnetonka on the 4th
Big Island. Let's go to Big Island, baby.
Big Island?
Love Big Island.
Oh, God. Yeah, and Aquaside pellets help people maintain nice lake shores. They've been doing it for over 60 years. They have a complete line of lake and pond control products that will take care of everything from weeds to algae. And they have Aquaside pellets. It's a do-it-yourself product, but it's very easy to use. They walk you through the process, too. Go check them out. They're in White Bear Lake, but also you can visit their website. It's aquaside.com to learn more. Aquaside.com to learn more. What's the what is it? It's the Summer of Surly, right, Judd Zolgad?
Summer of Surly is coming up. It is I believe it's going to be a week from Thursday that officially kicks off, but it's never too early to start to embrace what I have declared is the Summer of Surly. And how do you do that? Well, all you do is go to your local bar or liquor store and look around and see all of the summer and the fantastic offerings that Surly has. They're all right there. They're hard to choose from because there's so many great choices, but here's the nice thing. You make a choice, you'll never be disappointed. The Summer of Surly, right around the corner, but get ahead of it today. Furious, of course, that's my personal favorite, but there are so many great choices. And as Dex just said, if you're going out in the boat, of course, drink responsibly, but if you're going out in the boat or you're going out with some friends, Surly Brewing, make sure it's by your side.
Couple of Judd comments here before we wrap. Samson says, Judd and Kirk are now best friends. Let me find out Judd is secretly a closet Cousins Crusader. Is this part of your plan, Judd? To buddy up to Kirk to be a Cousins Crusader?
How did I get found out? Oh, son of a, you know what? I did not mean for that to happen. Yes, I'm a true crusader. I'm a true crusader.
It's a nice album title. I'm a true crusader. Thank you and Kirk. And Kirk's got some singing
or,
pipes.
Or Dex, or I could pull at your heartstrings and bring on down the guy who you are a crusader for.
Dante.
For all
Teddy.
those watching, it's Teddy. It's Teddy.
Teddy.
I found a Teddy. It's a bobblehead, sort of. But anyway,
I like that.
found a Teddy. Look at that. Look at that form. This form was going to lead the Vikings to Super Bowls. Mike Zimmer's long
now
lost
you're pulling out the
love.
heartstrings.
This was
Stop
going to
it,
be
stop
his
it.
guy. Look at that, Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
All right.
Last one from Thomas. He says, scribblings of a madman. It's happening. This is good stuff. Judd is quite cerebral for an NFL reporter, and this show is a different sort of show for sure. Good stuff. So, Thomas.
Thank you very much. I wonder
you're
where that comes from.
a cerebral NFL
we were talking,
reporter.
I think the schematics, the schemes that we were talking about last week off the mini camp, I think that got folks excited because there's so many different, I believe I'm going to use this word correctly, permeations that we could be seeing in the 2022 NFL season from the purple. I think that's
all right. That does it.
All right,
Thomas
great
from
stuff.
YouTube edition. Mackie, Judd,
Fantastic.
myself. Just one more little note. Dex Tweets is on vacation after Tuesday, so we got QB2 AJ coming in to succeed me, maybe for good. I don't know.
And he'll do
He's gonna get reps.
comments from YouTube with me on Monday.
He will do comments with YouTube view on Monday.
So he's going to find the comments because I don't find the comments. Sports Dad don't play that game.
He's going to do write that down. He'll do 4-question Friday. He'll do some feedback with it. He's QB. He's getting QB reps here. This is his Case Keenum moment. He's got a Minneapolis Miracle up his sleeve.
Oh boy! All right, I'm excited to see it.
All right, Purple Daily. Rate, like, subscribe. We'll talk to you.